First Timothy 5:24 through 6:2. The sins of some are soon in evidence. You know, things we're going to do will become apparent. You know, if we're living, if we got evil in our heart, it's going to come out in the way we live. People truly watch us and pay attention. They lead on to judgment. You know, if we got intent in our heart and we do not deal with it, it's going to come out and manifest in sin outwardly. If we deal with lust and don't contain it, we're going to end up causing fleshly sins. If we don't overcome our desires and contain them, they're going to manifest in adultery and fornication and things. And so, the evidence of our heart is not dealt with it. It's going to come out. He's pretty much telling them if they're of Christ, then there's going to be some reason why they choose not to live as the world. But if they don't have them, you're going to see that they don't have them because of the way they live. They're going to do whatever they want when it truly comes to it. That doesn't mean they're going to be the worst people. There's people in the world that don't appear to be that awful, but they don't got Christ. And you can tell. That's what he's telling them. But in the case of others, they dog their steps. You know, there's going to be people who can do a pretty decent job of pretending to be Christian. Maybe they got their self full, even to think they're Christian, because they do certain things and they live a certain way. These people are going to be harder to tell. These people are going to be harder to spot out. But when they do, it's going to be very apparent when they do, because it's going to be a mess. Equally so are good works, readily observed. You know, if we're of Christ, we're going to do good things. People are going to recognize the good things we do because we're of Christ. They should always recognize Christ because of us doing good things, not be us because of the good things we do. They should never recognize us as being good, us doing good things to earn Christ. Never. We do good things because we've had Christ to allow us to do the good things. But the good works is Him working through us, and it's evident that we are of Him. His work will come out in us because we will submit to Him, while those which are otherwise cannot remain hidden. You know, there's certain things that are going to come out that we do that we don't necessarily tell people. There's going to be things people realize about us that we may not have realized ourselves, simply because we're submissive to Him. Now, this can also be done in a negative. People won't realize bad about us if we don't have it. People are going to realize that, yeah, you may go to church, but you don't have Him. You're just living an act. And that's a warning, what he's telling them, but he's also telling them, people may pick on you. People may try to hold you down, Timothy, but what you're doing, people are going to truly see. Chapter 6. Let those who are under the yoke of slavery regard their master as deserving of all respect, so that the name of God and our teaching may not be reviled. Now, slavery isn't as big an issue as it was. There's certain places where slavery is still a big deal. But for most common people in this country, slavery is something not done. So, to apply this, we need to more look as a hired hand, which means The master is those that are over us, those that are in charge of the work we do. So if we look at this from a job perspective, it's very applicable in our life. We need to treat our bosses and those supervisors and all this with respect, not because it's them, not because we represent them, but because we represent God, because we're of Him. We're not working to please them, we're working to please Him. And our teaching may not be reviled. He's saying, because you're going to stand in this, people are going to not hate Christianity. People are going to have a somewhat respect for it. People may hate us, but don't give them a reason to. Do this and people, your boss will respect you. We should, if we're working as we would for the Lord, we're going to be hard-working people. We're going to be strong work ethic, and our bosses will like that about us. Verse 2. But those who have believing masters must honor them no less, because they are brothers. Instead, they should serve them better, because those who benefit by their service are believers and are loved. It's saying if they are believers, don't try to take advantage of them because of that. Don't try to slack off because of that. Just work just as hard and recognize, hey, I'm working for a brother. It's a lot easier to interact with someone of the faith. So while using that isn't frowned upon here, it's saying using that to change the way you work is. Still represent Him, but realize you're doing it for a brother.